Good morning, dear students. I, Gitanjali Singh Rathod, Deputy Director ICSI, welcome you all at this motivational and inspirational webinar. A very warm welcome to all our students joining us from across the country for this insightful webinar organized by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Today's topic is highly relevant not just for the students, but for all professionals navigating the demanding journey of success, stress, and time management. As future company secretaries, you all are expected to balance complex subjects, tight schedules, and evolving expectations. And that is why today's session is designed to equip you with practical techniques and mental strategies to manage stress and master your time. Also, exams are knocking the door, and some of you must be going through anxiety and stress. Over the next 2 hours, we'll dive into some effective tools and habits to handle pressure, prioritize treks, and stay mentally resilient during your preparation phase and beyond. We have with us experienced speakers who bring both professional insight and empathetic understanding of student challenges. So, without any further ado, let's introduce our dignitaries today. Students, President Sir could not join us due to some work-related exigencies, but he has conveyed his best wishes to all the students, and he has also conveyed that students should be encouraged to make the most of the resources available to support their academic and personal growth. I will read message given by our Honorable President Sir. Institute has come up with the concept of debating societies. Please join and actively participate in debating societies at your respective RC chapter office to enhance your communication skills, critical thinking, and public speaking skills. Utilize the library facility for academic research, reference material, and a quiet study environment. It's a valuable resource to deepen your understanding and broaden your knowledge. Quick response team, for any queries, concerns, or grievances, feel free to approach the QRT team. The team is here to listen and help you to find prompt and effective solutions. You will get all the details at the website of the Institute, www.icsi.edu. Your active involvement in these platforms will not only enrich your learning experience, but also contribute to a positive academic environment. Make use of these opportunities, your voice, your growth, your success. Students, we are privileged to have with us our Honorable Vice President, Sir C.S. Pavanji Chandakji, who is a constant source of motivation for all of us. Sir has been instrumental in taking various new initiatives for the profession, students, and members. We welcome you, sir. Sir is a qualified company secretary with specialization in labor laws and labor welfare. He is the founder partner of Messrs. KPRC and Associates with footprints all over India and varied experience in the fields of corporate laws, foreign exchange laws, industrial laws, legal, metrology, secretarial audits, arbitration, SAYS, STPI, etc. He has worked with large corporate houses and MNCs in the capacity of independent director and advisor and has a deep understanding of the challenges and issues surrounding his areas of expertise, which includes handling and advising on corporate legal matters, deal structuring, and merger amalgamation. Sir, it is indeed a matter of great pride to have you here online with us. Students, I also feel immensely happy to welcome our distinguished speakers. We are privileged to have with us Dr. Bhavna Barmi and Dr. Sunil Keswani. We welcome both of you, sir and ma'am. I now feel extremely privileged to request our Vice President, Sir C.S. Pavan Chandakji, to address all the students. We once again welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Gitanjali Madam. I recognize the presence of esteemed faculties of today's webinar, Dr. Bhavna Barmiji and Mr. Sunil Keswani, who would be taking all our students through various difficult topics, I would say. One is how to be managing the stress, which is very pertinent in the age of or the era when you are a student and approaching the exams. Your exams are approaching very fast, and I know there might be stress, anxiety, and various other psychological and other issues which you have to manage during your study time. Along with that, we have seen many a times that time management, especially while studying, and more specifically when you are writing your exams in those 3 hours, it is again very important how to manage how much time should be given to each questions, what answers to be written, how many marks are allotted to any particular thing. Many times when I was a student, I know and still recall that same question, same topic, same question. My many a times was asked for 5 marks, many a times was asked for 16 marks. So, according to the marks allocated, we have to write. So, again, the time management which Sunil Keswani ji would be taking you, that how to achieve manage the time basically and support outstanding self growth and professional success. So all these things are there. So my dear student friends, I appreciate the steps which are taken by the Directorate of Student Services, ably led by Sanjay Nagarji and Gitanjali ji and many other people who are supporting day in and day out all the students, and they come out with this series that we should help our students in stress management and related topics and many other things, and we would be coming up with many such webinars, and these webinars are having only one outcome motto, that we should help our students to crack the exams, to become a better professional, to become a complete man in the society, so as to represent ICSI proudly. Friends, webinars like how to prepare for the exams, how to manage the time, how to be very focused and with the minimum distractions, with the surge of, I would say, social media, which is going on, and keeping the mobile out of your hand for more than, let's say, 1 hour. 1 hour is also a long time. I can say that looking at my children, 30 minutes is maximum they can read at a stretch. After 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they are referring to the mobiles and checking the many a times, not means without any notifications, they are just checking psychologically that if I am missing something. So the few jargons like FOMO, fear of missing out, or like that, that many a times that takes a toll on your concentration, on your preparations. So, my dear friends, please uninstall the apps if you cannot uninstall the apps from your smartphone. So, you are smart enough. Keep that smartphone away from you, or switch off, or don't recharge if it is a prepaid. uh, it will help these 2 months. If you can do this, then it will definitely help you in cracking the exams. And once the exams are over and you become a CS professional as a member of our esteemed institute, it would be your life, it would be your will, it would be your likings, dislikings. You can behave like whatever your heart says, and you can operate the smartphones and everything. And life is yours after you become a member of our esteemed institute. But during these critical exam times, I would urge you, I would advise you, I would request you. So please, please, please stay away from the social media, all distractions, and please concentrate on your studies. We want you to see the members of this our institute sooner than later, and with best wishes from my side for the preparation of the exams, and also the best wishes for having a great successful exam and a best crack what you can give Don't feel that one paper is somewhat you have not written well. So don't stop yourself from attempting second, third, fourth, next exams, next papers, I would say, in the same attempt, because you never know. Many times the tough paper is monitored or is evaluated. I would say not so strictly, and you could achieve the minimum 40 marks or even god knows 50 marks criteria, and the rest of the paper might be very easy, and latter if you don't attempt those remaining papers, so latter that rather than uh, saying कि अरे मैं दे देता था तो अच्छा रहता था, मैं पास हो जाता था, मेरे से जो अच्छा बंदा नहीं था वो भी पास हो गया. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, वेन एवर यू आर गिविंग एनी पेपर, द मोमेंट you are putting your last full stop of that paper, forget that paper and concentrate on the next paper. It will be very much helpful for you to clear the exam. Stay positive in those crucial and critical moments. Never lose hope. And with this prayers, with these wishes, I will stop here, because we are here to hear our esteemed panelist, esteemed faculties, Dr. Bhavna Barmiji and Mr. Sunil Keswani ji. So I once again wish you all the best for your exams. I wish that you all be successful in your exams. Thank you, and keep attending the webinars which ICSI is doing. Our Department of Student Services is really putting a lot of efforts for the betterment of students and the services which are offered to students. You can write anything to us. My mail ID is vp@icsi.edu. But my dear friends, here with a word of caution, I would say, I received an email yesterday from Panipat student. Sir, if there is any WhatsApp group of Panipat chapter, please add me in Panipat chapter group. My dear friends, instead of approaching to president or vice president or department of student services, it would be easy to approach locally to that chapter chairman or EO. And if any social media channel or social media group is there which is not official from ICSI side, you can request them, you can join them informally, formally, whatever it is. And instead of writing such mails to president, vice president, secretary, or the Department of Student Services, which none of us have any control on those groups, because those are not ICSI groups. So instead of sending such mails, you can write whatever you are facing problem from the ICSI side. If you want anything from the ICSI, you can write to us, and I, on behalf of my Department of Student Services, I can promise you that your problems would be sorted, attended, and solved within a reasonable time. And believe we all are working towards that. So thank you, Gitanjali ji. Please take this webinar ahead. Thank you. You need to unmute. You need to unmute, Gitanjali ji.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us your words of wisdom and enthralling address. That was indeed inspirational. Your thought-provoking and motivational address is inspiration to all our students. Thank you once again for sharing your time with us. Thank you, sir. Now let's start the motivational session. Students, it's a proud moment for all of us as we are witnessing the presence of Dr. Bhavna Barmi, practicing clinical psychologist and a wonderful speaker. On behalf of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, I once again welcome her. We are grateful, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. But before we listen to ma'am, let me give her a brief introduction. Dr. Bhavna Barmi is an internationally well-renowned practicing child and clinical psychologist. She graduated from Lady Shri Ram College. She furthered her academics and has a PhD in psychology, along with an MPhil in medical and social psychology from NIMHANS, Bangalore. She started her career with All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIMS, Delhi, and she has been working as a senior clinical psychologist with the Fortis Escort Heart Institute, Delhi, for the past 25 years. Her varied experience ranges from being the most sought after relationship expert to being an executive counselor. She also holds a diploma in NLP and hypnotherapy, using a unique style of amalgamating all the above to her client's advantage. Dr. Barmi heads Mindtrack Care and Cure Center for Mental Health, dealing purely with acute psychiatric issues. She's the founder of Happiness Studios, a center of psychological and psychiatric well-being for the young and adults. PsychCare, an ISO certified psychiatric rehab and hospital, was started by her in 2015. She has recently launched a mental health app, iBeing. We are happy to have you amongst us today, ma'am. I now request Dr. Bhavna to address the gathering and cast the light of her knowledge upon us. We welcome you, ma'am. So we'll share your presentation, right?
Thank you so much, Gitanjali ma'am. It is a pleasure to have been here, and it was wonderful to have Pavan sir open the platform for us, because I think the valuable inputs that he gave is actually the foundation that any student can take back and formulate not just their exams, but their life upon. So I think the esteemed presence of Pavan sir was the light that we need to ignite inside of us. And all the learnings, if implemented, would be absolutely wonderful to lead us into that successful journey that each of us are here with. Because like when we see the presentation first slide, it also says that it is very important to maximize success and keep our stress at bay. So that's exactly what we're going to run through today. As we go to the next slide with Gitanjali ma'am, you've already introduced me too, but it is truly a pleasure as we move on to our next slide. And from here, to let you know that I personally have been associated with the ICSI and the students for over 2 decades plus. And every year, the students that we meet are only one better than the rest. And when Gitanjali ma'am and Pavan sir and our director sir organize programs and seminars like this, it is only to take the best above the rest to become the cut above the best. And to be able to become that cut above the best, I think one very important learning that I want you to go through, which is on our next slide. So can we come to the next slide after this, please? Is to define and redefine happiness in our life. Because if we see the HAPP of happiness and the HAPP of happening, it is absolutely coordinated. Because genuinely happiness is the ability to be with whatever is happening. And this happiness comes with all kinds of success that you want to develop in your life. Like we go into the next slide, I'm going to run the slides a little quicker so that we are going to be able to have time for us to interact and to self-assess. Here, I want you to focus on this part, that life is a series of thoughts for each one of us. The quality of these thoughts define our life. And the inputs to thoughts define the quality of our life. So very important. We must give the best inputs to our thoughts, which, like on my next slide, is the mantra to our success, the mantra to build up our happiness quotient. So if we come to the next slide, if we look at this, we say that it is so important to give direction to our thoughts. the direction to our thoughts will lead us to a constructive, well-balanced life. So very important, you need to understand what is this direction that you want to give. Very important it is to understand, to add a passion, to add a value or an emotion to each schedule you plan. And at this time, it is very important for you to passionately give your thoughts, your life a direction to be successful at your examinations. And thereby, like Pavan sir was also saying, you will get a whole variety of things to do. Whatever you want in your life is going to become in your palms. So let's do a small exercise now to see where are all of you on stress. So on my next slide, I'm going to present to you a brief analysis. Next slide talks to us about how you're going to assess stress in yourself. So if we are all ready, I'm going to show you a photo that has two almost identical dolphins. And in these dolphins, I want you to identify if they are different. And usually, what do you see? Usually, people who see them different are in levels of stress. So how many of you are seeing this different? Can you just put it onto your chat windows? How many of you are seeing this as different? So, well, this was just a very, very informal way of saying that, yes, stress comes upon each of us. But on a more formal note, what I want you to do is I want you to check your stress levels. Through this little questionnaire that I'm going to be presenting on the next slide. Ye to dolphin twins were very, very informal way of telling you that, yes, stress persists and we need to do something about it. In the next slide, I'm going to show to you what are some of the questions that you need to answer. So next slide, Gitanjali ma'am, Shalini ma'am. I'm going to present to you 15 statements in the next few slides. And I want you to note down on a sheet of paper or for this time on the notepad of your phones, how do you answer this? Your statements can be answered from a choice of never to nearly all the time. And I want you to note down that answer for yourself. Because at this point of time, we want each of you to know where you are as far as your levels of stress are concerned. So let's run to the next slide, Shalini ma'am. Everybody start noting down your answers. There are 15 questions and you can answer. You don't need to write down the question, but you can just say question number 1 and your answer. Your answer could be never, rarely, sometimes, rather often, or nearly all the time. This is a standardized questionnaire that WHO uses very briefly to have an internal check on where your stress levels are. Because once we know where our stress levels are, we will be able to do something about it. So quickly, I want you to run this over. So question number 1, please answer. Statement number 2, I took longer time than usual to do things. Please answer. Just note down question 2 and your response. Statement number 3, I found myself getting upset over trivial things. Choti baaton pe I get upset. Statement 4, I had or have difficulty in concentrating, especially during your exam times, which aid stress into you. Statement number 5, I felt that I'm achieving less than I should. मेरे पास 4 chapters हैं पढ़ने के लिए. My exam is round the corner and I've been able to do lesser than what I anticipated. Next slide, Shalini. Statement number 6. Statements लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Just write question 6 and the answer. I found myself getting frustrated. Statement 7. I felt that there is more work or studies to do than I have practically the ability to do. Seven. Answer: never, rarely, sometimes, rather often, nearly all the time. Statement 8. I have any kind of bodily ache and pain. Statement 9. I have negative thoughts about my work or studies. मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा. I feel very helpless. Statement number 10. I found that I do not have time to do as much as I want to. Statement 11. I experience headaches or heaviness or tightness in my head. Next slide. Statement number 12. I found myself getting irritable and angry. Statement 13. I felt under an unpleasant level of pressure to succeed. Statement number 14. I had a disturbed sleep. Statement 15. I feel tired and easily fatigued. So once you've got the answers for all of these, I want you to come onto the scoring part of it, which is in the next slide. So anybody wants me to repeat any question? Okay. So then we come to the scores. And how do you score? If you, wherever you've marked never in these 15 questions, usko give it a score of 0. Whenever you've marked rarely, give it a score of 1. Sometimes gets a score of 2. Rather often gets a score of 3. Nearly all the time gets a score of 4. And then you total up the score. And put your scores, all the participants, into your chat windows. Everybody put it onto your chat windows. Total up your score, put it onto your chat windows. And I'm going to note what the scores come up with. Because today you're getting a very good chance to note for your own self, where am I as far as my stress levels are going? Because if you can send me private messages, I'm getting some private messages, and if your scores are as high as what we see in the next slide, above 40, 2 of the students have had scores in the next slide, please, above 40. You are getting a very valuable insight into your level of stress, being in severe stress. If your scores are between 26 and 40, you are in moderate stress. If it is between 16 and 25, you are in mild stress. 0 to 15 is where you should be. So please total up your scores, and I am getting a lot of you who are actually in severe stress and some who are in moderate stress. I want you to keep these scores for yourself, because we need to manage these. Because if your scores are anything more than 20, then you need to re-examine what is mental wellness. So if we come to the next slide, we see that mental wellness is a state of social and emotional well-being in which a person can fulfill his or her potential, can cope up with normal stress of life, can contribute to working productively, and has a sense of purpose and is able to make a contribution to the society. And there are 4 signals that your mind gets or gives to you to tell you that maybe you are crossing the boundaries of mental wellness and you need to get better into it. So once again, I want you to move on to the next slide and identify, is your mind, body, heart giving you any of these responses? And note them, because that is what we need to change in ourselves. That is what we need to change on ourselves. On the somatic level, next slide, Shalini, it gives us signals that if we are having a disturbance in sleep, then it is giving us a signal that we are moving from mental wellness to a state of not being well. If there's a disturbance in appetite, sometimes we do a lot of emotional eating under stress. That is again a signal. Or sometimes we just completely give up on stress. That is again a signal. Different types of aches and pains. Getting palpitations, getting anxious, and especially just before exam time, you start getting a lot of palpitations or getting very easily tired, what we call as chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS. All these are signals that your body is giving that please be aware. And if you're crossing the boundaries, then take care of me. Next signal that the body gives you is the cognitive signal on the next slide. In the cognitive signals, the mind tells you if you have difficulty in attention, concentration, or focus. If there's indecisiveness, if there is memory concerns, if there is procrastination, what I want to do today, I shift to tomorrow. And if there is a ruminative pattern of thinking, plus, minus, and I'm not able to reach to my decision. So these are certain cognitive signals that the mind is giving you that I need support. I need care. I need to be nurturing myself. On an emotional level, which is on the next slide, sometimes we externalize our stress. Sometimes we internalize our stress in terms of getting into a gamut of feeling low, socially isolating, being disinterested in pleasurable activities, having negative thinking, ideas of helplessness, hopelessness, worthlessness, anxiety. Pawan sir was talking so much about anxiety bringing down your performance, which sometimes leads us into panic and our productivity comes down. And on the other hand, on the next slide, sometimes we take out all that stress in terms of anger, irritability, and even displacement of anger. Kisi ka gussa, kisi aur pe nikal jana. And the 4th signal we get is in our behavioral domain in our next slide. Our motivation comes down. And again, what Pawan sir said, excessive consumption of social media. I want you to mark Pawan sir's words, Gitanjali ma'am's words, that social media needs to be used in moderation. And abhi to hum dekh bhi rahe hain that when we are using, I don't want to name the person, but the YouTuber is actually being put under a criminal act because of her excessive sharing on social media. So what we need to do is, if we feel, and a lot of you did have your levels of stress very high, I want you to see this definition on the next slide. Because stress happens when pressure becomes greater than your resource. So all that you need to do is, you need to build up your resource. to manage your pressures. And the biggest resource is you, is your own personality. Your own personality, where you take charge of building up your IQ, your EQ, and your SQ. What do these three terms mean? On our next slide, IQ is your intelligence quotient. Each of you who are becoming company secretaries automatically are in the intelligence, in a good intelligence quotient. But like I said, what takes you above the rest, and a cut above the rest, is your emotional quotient and your spiritual quotient. So what I want you to design for yourself today, and Sunil ji is also going to take us through this presentation further on how we can develop our personality to the best, how we can make it even more holistic. So the first reflection is understanding on our next slide that what are my strengths in these domains and what are my areas of improvement. So for example, my strength in my IQ could be my subject knowledge. My area of improvement could be my sports knowledge, my political knowledge, whatever. So on an emotional quotient, my strength could be my interpersonal skills, but my area of improvement could be my communication. My strength could be my emotional stability. My area of improvement could be anxiety, could be anger, could be sadness. Similarly, spiritual quotient. Spiritual quotient is not just about your religious beliefs or faiths. It's about the morals, the values that you have developed in your life. So maybe my strength is my honesty. And my area of improvement could be empathy, could be building up trust. So identify what are the morals and the values at the soul connect level that you have as your strengths, because all that you need to do is you need to keep building up your strengths and you need to keep bringing down your weaknesses. And we will, at the end of this talk about what you can do to manage this better for yourself. So if we go to the next slide after this is basically how to minimize stress and maximize success. Next slide again. After this slide, next slide after this tells us that this optimal utilization of our time is optimal utilization of our life. And so Sunil sir's presentation today again correlated to how do you balance this 24 hours. I would say prioritize these. For a good quality sleep, no compromise on your nutrition intake or on quality time for yourself, where there is physical exercise, very important. Whether you want it, you don't want it, it builds up endorphins, which are your feel-good hormones. Your social exercise, your interaction with people. I think COVID taught it all. And your mental exercise, which could be mindfulness, which could be any form of breathing. Do all of you know how to breathe over here at least? So what I want to do is I want to do a brief exercise over here on your breath. All that I want you to do is I want you to count your breaths. When I say start, you count inhalation and exhalation as 1. And when I say stop, you stop the counts and continue your breathing. So what I want you to do is inhalation, exhalation to be counted as 1. Breathing in, breathing out 2. Swas andar lena, bahar chhodna 3. When I say start, you start the counts. When I say stop, you stop the counts. So you can gently close your eyes also and start. Breathe in, breathe out as a count of 1. Okay, stop the counts and continue your breathing. Stop the count, continue your breathing. Since I was also seeing that we are a little shorter on time, I stopped this exercise at 30 seconds. But I have research for 1 minute. So I want you to multiply your counts by 2 and bring it on the chat windows again. All the participants to bring it on the chat window. Whatever your score was, suppose your score was 15, उसको 2 से multiply करोगे तो 30 हो जाएगा. Suppose it was 10, it will become 20. After multiplying by 2, you present it on your chat window. You can even send personal messages to me. Now I see a lot of people once again having a count between 25 and 35. I'm waiting for others. Okay, I've got a lot of responses on my direct message. Very important to analyze this. I have nobody who is breathing to live well. Because if you're breathing under 15 cycles per second, just give me 1 second. Hanji Tanya. I was just counting the scores, and if we see the score, if it is a lot of you are breathing over 30 breaths per minute, so you are breathing only to live. And if you're breathing more than 35, you are breathing only to exist. And only if your scores are under 20 breaths per cycle are you breathing to live well. So the first thing that I would encourage you to do is to manage your breath to be able to live better. It is the first learning for you to even manage your stress and even manage your anxieties. If you have your breath in your control, even if you're getting anxious and you take some deep breaths, you can breathe in. So we've got 2 ways that we've learned today of analyzing our stress. And we are now learning ways of managing this. So the first thing is 24 hours proper utilization. Second step is this wellness enhancement exercise, in which if you need to learn how to breathe well, previous slide, ma'am, yes. Then you need to breathe in at a count of 5, hold it for a count of 10, breathe out for a count of 5, and hold that breath for another count of 5. Utilize this. And the next utilization is on our next slide, where you need to implement investing into your own self. Your me time, your we time, your family time, and your social time needs to be prioritized basis the next slide where you invest. Currently, you need to embrace priority. And that is again what Sunil sir will talk to us about. How we can prioritize our time to keep the focus on what is important and what is urgent. And right now, for each one of you, learning is important. So Shalini, if we come to the last slide of my presentation, if you just run these slides down, and if you just come to the power of the mind, which is slide number 47, what I want you to do now is take back a very powerful technique to empower yourself. It is by empowering your mind. I want to briefly tell you that your mind is divided into 3 portions. The conscious mind is the mind at which you and me are talking right now, but it is a very small portion of the mind. To empower this mind, you can use your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind gets activated either when you sleep or when you write. So just before you sleep, I want you to write down a positive affirmation. On the next slide, you see these powerful affirmation examples. What you had done in your matrix, जब आपने अपना holistic personality का strength and weakness किया था, whatever are your strengths, you can build them up by saying, I have a good memory, good focus, good attention, good confidence, good relationship with my mother, father, brother, teacher. Even relationships change. All you need to do is you need to write this down 25 or even 21 times. Anytime from 7 times to 21 times. If you just note it down for these many days, whether you want it or not, the subconscious mind will give a lot of power to your conscious mind, which will, like we said in the first slide, are thoughts. And the input to the thoughts, if they are right, then there is a lot of positivity. So look at that. Look at empowering your thoughts. And a very simple way is what we have presented here. I am going to move to my next slide, which talks about the slide after this, which talks about the fact that even though we end a session today, but I begin a relationship with each one of you. On my last slide, I share with you my contact details so that anytime there are any thoughts, any feelings, any questions, any concerns that come to you, please feel free to write into us. We will personally revert back to any thoughts or challenges that disturb you, because that is the association that ICSI builds with each one of you to empower you and give you the strength to conquer all what you want in your life. Giving each one of you the very best wishes for the very best life. May God bless you to achieve everything that you desire for. Thank you, Gitanjali ma'am, for giving me the opportunity of being on this extremely valuable and esteemed platform.
Ma'am, can we take few questions from the chat box?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So one student is asking how to manage family and study at the same time.
See, the best part for you to do is for you to understand that there is a, like we spoke about the time, there is prioritization. Usme humne family time bhi rakha hai. So when you actually see that this is my focus time and I'm going to be studying, then the family and your social life also needs to know that from this time to this time, I am focusing. And you can also express to your family that my focus and priority on academics right now is very important because of a very important examination that I am yet to give. Your family is bonded with you, they will understand. Yet you must keep time to express openly, to communicate to them what your priorities are. And then when the family time comes, you need to shut shop, you need to shut the books, and then be in complete quality time. And that's why we say quality time is the mantra for today. So keep a quality time, and that quality time should be for pleasure as well as discussion of concerns.
Thank you, ma'am. One student is saying that after seeing the paper, he gets puzzled. No, he doesn't know what to write. He gets confused. So how to overcome that?
See, one of the things is that we said that whenever there is anxiety, which leads to puzzlement or indecisiveness or lowering your productivity, all that you can do that time is move out of that situation in mind or in physical space and concentrate on your breath. Like I taught the breathing, jaise hi aap wo karoge, you will buy some time and you will buy things to empower yourself. Another thing that you can do is you can do this exercise in which you look at your thumbs and then take the thumbs to a point where your vision goes and then drop it. And then get back into seeing that question. You will definitely get back into a refocus. And before you go to sleep every night, write down the affirmation. I am free from getting puzzled, and it will help you.
Thank you, ma'am. One student is saying, I'm failing again and again in my professional examination. No? So how do I deal with that? No, that stress, anxiety due to the
Yes.
same.
So one of the things is that we need to prioritize our time to focus on what is important for us, and then plan in a manner where we read and we rewire to know what we have read has been learned by us. And then after we learn, we give some examinations which are pre-prep tests for ourselves, so that we know what are our strength areas, we focus on them, and what are our weakness areas. For our weakness areas, we can use resources. We can go back to our mentors, we can go back to our seniors, we can go back to reading those books and building up our skill. So first step is, like we said in that matrix, IQ, EQ, SQ का strength and weakness analyze कर लो. And from there, we'll move forward.
So thank you, ma'am. I think we are running short of time. So thank you for guiding all our students. We were delighted to have you here and listen to your expertise and motivational address. Thank you once again for sparing your valuable time. Thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure.
So it's our honor to now welcome Mr. Sunil Keswani ji, a renowned corporate trainer having a wide experience in mentoring students and professionals. Keswani ji, are you there? Please join. So Keswani ji is joining in a short while. Just give us a minute. Can we start, Keswani ji? Have you joined? Yeah.
Ji.
So students, it's our honor to welcome Dr. Sunil Keswani, a renowned corporate trainer having a wide experience in mentoring students and professionals. I'll give his brief introduction before we start. Dr. Sunil Keswani is a versatile scholar and trainer. He holds a master's degree in commerce from Delhi University, MA Education from IGNOU, and a doctorate in education from LPU. He has a hardcore corporate experience of total 35 years, having worked in the marketing division of large companies like CMC Limited, Sri Ram Pistons and Rings Limited, and the Times of India. For the last 28 years, he's actively involved in conducting training and development programs, workshops in major managerial, workplace happiness and communication areas in lead companies in India and abroad, and is a visiting faculty to a number of premier B schools and engineering institutes in India. He has so far trained over 35,000 delegates and students. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We look forward to learning from you. Over to you. We once again welcome you.
Thanks, madam, for your very kind words of introduction. Namaste to all our dear learners. You had a wonderful first half session by Dr. Bharmi. I'll carry forward from there. Generally, I tend to ask in my session this question from the participants. According to them, or even I will ask you, according to you, what is life? Zindagi aapke liye kya hai? Ek ya do shabd, one or two words. If possible, you can always write in your chat box. I will read it. Mostly, what replies I have got after I have asked this question, ki what is life? Their replies have been, life is a challenge. It's a roller coaster. Mystery, peace, being happy, and so on. Perhaps the same you would have been thinking. Now, understand, factually speaking, life is a stage between two abbreviations. Now, what are those abbreviations? One is easy to detect. DOB. Got it? Must have been entering this column in various admission forms and examination forms. DOB. Date of birth. But what about another abbreviation? DOE. Interesting? Clue. Hint. You may have seen this term DOE whenever you are buying some products. But don't forget, it is not only applicable for products, it is applicable for you and me also. What's that? Date of expiry. So, one is date of birth and second is date of expiry. And in between these two is what we call as life. I have brought for you an interesting demo. It shows you DOB, DOE, and in that median, in that between, there is a short life. Or I can explain in perhaps even better words, between this DOB and DOE, is what I call as limited time. Now, what it means? Time is life, and life is time, and it's very, very limited. Why? Because it's memento mori. New term for you. May not be known to many of the people sitting in this online session. Memento mori. It's a Latin word which says to convey that we all are mortal beings. I'm recalling this very old popular song in Hindi in which Amitabh Bachchan was there in this movie. Some of you will recall this song as I say some lines. Let me see if I'm able to say it in a melodious tune. मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ, पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है, पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है, मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ. These beautiful lines of this song means the song of life and even youth is very limited. Well, in this program, I'm not trying to sound very sad, but let's accept the reality. The biggest resource of life is non-renewable, finite time. जी हाँ. All your dreams and your professional goals have to come true in the short window of time. I still remember on the last day of my school, we were having this farewell party, and our principal came to address us. And he said, "Dear students, from tomorrow, you're going to enter a new chapter of life. Must be having lot many goals or dreams. Do always remember all your dream, all your goals will only be achieved in your waking hours and not in your sleeping hours. Never ever waste your time, because those who are crazy, those who are crazy are never lazy. So become one. What? Crazy. था ना एक line, crazy किया रे. You may have heard many people saying this statement almost on a daily basis. I have brought for you a demo for that. You'll enjoy it. And you must have seen this line. God forbid you don't say this line. Here it is. Got it? बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं है, कहते हैं ना लोग. बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं है. Meaning, I have no time. Now, you need to ask, is it a true statement or just a habit? Well, you decide. As per me, it's a massive, massive cover-up to inefficiency. And a case of very special word which I'm saying, take a note of it, time poverty. The real issue today is not lack of time, but lack of priority. जी हाँ, lack of priority. A live example, you are viewing this session not because you have plenty of extra time, but it's your priority for self and skill development that makes you invest your valuable 1 hour here. Is it not so? So what's the moral of the story? It's not the time which decides the priority. It's the priority which decides your time deployment on any assignment or a task. Let's understand 7 gateways as a learner, how managing time can give you some excellent results in your exams and your professional innings. The best part is, Dia, the best part is it's mission possible. It is mission possible. From now onward, do write the main pointers or the gateways which I am giving to you, least you forget them. So number 1 gateway is of time management. Learn to respect time. There is a saying, and it was also the title of a film. You may guess it. Ye zindagi. क्या? ये जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा, ये पल ना होंगे दोबारा. Meaning, use this non-renewable resource of your life very, very wisely. Don't just waste it in distractions or cheap, endless entertainment or reel after reels and gossips. This is extremely addictive and self-defeating many a times. Because time is a very precious resource, cannot be saved, cannot be stored. Either it is used or misused. Therefore, seize the day, known as Carpe Diem. Very special word, Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Because killing time is like committing suicide in installments. Count each day as a separate life, a gift of God, because this psychologically can give you some very, very positive vibes and energy. And within this point, I would say another useful tip can be, try internet fasting for some time during the day. This detox can really help you to regain your balance and focus. Even in terms of mobile usage, as our respected VP sir a few minutes back was saying, try to limit the number of calls during the day, and even within your calls, talk less, say more. This saves your energy and time. वो कहते हैं ना, what an idea, sir ji. Second important gateway. Every day we get an equal time to be unequal. Beware. Because from the time you get up in the morning or till the end of the day, be extremely careful of the decisions you make and implement, including the routine once. Maybe at what time you get up in the morning, how much time you spend for your breakfast, for your lunch, for your dinner, travel time, study time, office time, friends time, social media time, and time after time. This collectively, all the routine decisions put together will decide among ourselves कि कौन बनेगा. Not only crorepati, but who will become a super professional. I'm of a very firm opinion that what you are becoming is more important than what you will get in life. Interesting? It's a very deep statement. And especially to a great professional in the making, like your good self, it makes a lot of sense. What you are becoming is more important than what you get in life. Number third, gateway. Something special I'll also show you for this purpose. So number third gateway is action, T, N, T, T and T. Today, comma, not tomorrow. Interesting? So let me show you something interesting. Michael, let me bring it. Oh, by God. Time. The movement of the time in the clock is unstoppable. Well, so is life. Develop this super habit to do things today. Why? Because tomorrow is uncertain. It's the power of now. That is today. Never ever procrastinate. Never ever procrastinate. Don't let sense of urgency get converted into emergency and red alert situation. Because this can be very, very stressful. Don't let the situation be out of control. Number fourth gateway, which I want to share with you. Schedule your time in advance. Studies show that toppers or even high performers schedule their time in advance for the studies and day's activities. Because this will ensure that time is well invested and there are no spillovers. Even studying in isolation with no distraction ensures max retention. You may have heard about this great revered soul who once visited planet Earth. I am referring to Swami Vivekananda ji. He was once asked how he has gained so much knowledge in his very, very short span of life. Do you know what he replied? Worth listening, worth understanding, and worth implementing in your professional life, and especially exams. His reply was, I read any book or text once and finish it off. I don't ever read it twice. It's a big statement. Reading a book or a text once and finishing it off and not reading it twice. How many of us can actually do such focused reading with no need to revise again? This is what will decide your quality output. Because many a times when we keep on revising, revision after revision, revision after revision, revision after revision, why it is required? If at the first instant itself you were that concentrated or that focused, there was no need for such spillovers. Because the more you tend to revise a particular chapter or a content, the more time you are devoting and the lesser time available to you for your other subjects and other priorities. And when left uncontrolled, this creates a lot of stress. Think over. It's a proposition. If you can really sit in true sort of meditation while you are reading, because reading with a focus is also a form of meditation. Interesting. And number 5th gateway is very interesting. Follow 60, 20, 20 rule of studying. Now, what is that? This refers to a model in which one divides the subjects by importance. Kaise? How? 60% time devoted for the most challenging areas or subjects to start with. So, out of your course curriculum, whether it's an executive level or professional, to whichever subjects which sound to you challenging or difficult, although I personally feel none of the subjects is that difficult. It's our thinking which makes it so. Once you understand the concepts very well, and while reading you are in a meditative state of affairs, nothing crosses you. You are in total control of the situation. It is something like even when you are driving a car at, let's say, 70, 80, or even above that on a highway, you are in total control of the vehicle and fully confident nothing untoward will happen. Rare exception apart. Why? Because that's where you are controlling that driving part to which you are very confident and you know it by heart. Similarly, here in those subjects, once you have understood the subjects to its core, even if you are waked up in the midnight and asked to give answers or maybe share your opinion or your thoughts. Interesting. It may sound to you, but you can give the answers. So 60% time devoted to challenging areas or subjects to start with, 20% for other subjects, and the last 20%, if required, for revision. Because understanding the core and not rote learning on content helps save time and avoids repeated revision. I hope our worthy students and professionals understand rote learning, remembering, because memory recall can fail you anytime. That is not required. But once you understand the core concepts from your heart, nothing defeats you. Nothing, absolutely nothing defeats you. Number 6, gateway, which I want to share with you, was shared to me by one of my counselor friend, Mrs. Bhargava. She said, rest and energy levels directly affects the learning ability and efficiency. Do you get the point? Rest and energy level directly affects the learning ability and efficiency. Some people even ask me, normally I'm conducting half-day or full-day sessions within the students' community and also in the corporate. So some people do ask me, sir, don't you feel tired after that many hours of that session or lecture? I tell them, tired of what? Remember one thing. Once you love what you do and you do what you love, where is the question of being tired or retired? Interesting. So once you are really enjoying this, even this session, which courtesy your great organization or institution, ICSI, I will call them as your social parent. Very special term for ICSI. Social parent for all its students and, of course, members. And that's where they are sharing, loving, and caring. And no wonder these quality level of interventions and knowledge and skill-based later sessions to help you to become a world-class professional, the pride not only of this profession, not only of your family, but the pride of our great nation. So ध्यान दीजिएगा, pay attention. Never ever neglect your diet. Need to be properly hydrated or take short breaks or even a good night, I would say 6 to 8 hours quality sleep. Because this ensures that there is no possibility of being unwell at your very crucial stage before or during the exams. I have seen in the past, courtesy multiple variables acting on the students, some get unwell, and especially at that crucial time period, of the examination, and that proves to be very fatal for them. So let not happen to any of our worthy learners. And once you take care of your energy and rest levels, accompanied by a fantastic day schedule, and even your diet, and being well hydrated, not only in the summer months like the ones which are now, but even otherwise also, it will absolutely keep you agile, active, and alert. And that's what you need. And last, if not the least, the gateway which I want to share with you is be in time. Very special word which I have used, be in time at the examination center or any meeting. Now, mind you, I never said be on time. There is a difference. What is the difference? Because being in time means 5 to 20 minutes before the scheduled time to reach or meet. Now, from your own experience, and if you really apply common sense, this approach of being in time 5 to 20 minutes before the scheduled time, which incidentally is a global standard, this approach has great advantages. And you can't miss it out. Like, you can avoid last-minute travel stress. Always. So whether you are traveling by public transport or your own vehicle or even these metros, you can have a buffer of those many minutes. And this will ensure that you reach at the center in peace. Not only mental peace, but also in one piece on the lighter side. And even when you reach early at a center or later for your meeting, you can always exchange greetings with other people or your colleagues or your peers or your fellow students present there. And this certainly lends you an air of positive vibes, because even a gracious smile on your face can really set the notion for the challenge or even a bigger task which you are about to face. It's psychological. And even reaching early can offer you a great advantage to able to organize your thoughts in advance to write or to share. And this is wonderful. It would be incomplete on my part if I do not share few references which I would love to share with you. So I'm sharing with you 2 good movies and 2 good books on time management. I hope you would love them to see or read. Or maybe perhaps some of you may have already read those references which I'm about to quote. So one is a Hollywood film, The Bucket List. It's a very special term, an idiom, which conveys things to do. I'm sure you must also be maintaining a bucket list to your personal life, to your professional ambitions or goals which you want to achieve. So for those of you who are really those proactive and love humor and love active profile, watch this movie, The Bucket List. And inspired by this film, there was this Hindi movie which was taken as a base from this movie, Hollywood movie, and that was Das Vidhaniya. Not Kahaniya, Das Vidhaniya. Vidhaniya is a, what should I say? It's a Russian term meaning best, goodbye, forever. Wonderful film. Very low budget and explains the trauma, the stress, the aspirations, the ambition, and the mission possible. What this young guy in his 30s makes it possible. So I'm not here to reveal you the entire story or the suspense, but once you will watch it, on my suggestion, you would love it. You would love it. So exceptionally, these two movies, I'm sure there are other movies also, which can be good enough for you. But make it a point next time, whenever you are on an outing or watching a video or a movie, whether on these OTT platforms or actually in a movie hall, ensure that movie or that input what you're about to receive is in the category of edutainment. It's a very special word. I'm sure our worthy audience has got the meaning of this word, edutainment. A model which has education plus entertainment. It is something like buy one and get one, or maybe more, free. Because after all, ये जिंदगी क्या ना मिलेगी दोबारा. And the two books which I am now about to refer to you, number one book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Very wonderful book by a Buddhist monk. He's also a writer, speaker, speak with words of kindness, and a very cool person, balanced person, meditating person. You would love to read this book, and you would understand the title of this book, The Power of Now. Because that's where the whole idea lies. Okay, the biggest certainty of life is the uncertainty. So why to wait for tomorrow or day after or the days to follow or weeks to follow if something can be done today? Remember one of the gateways I said? Action. TNT. Today, not tomorrow. And this book will definitely highlight that part. And number second book, which I want to refer to you is, the title of the book is Time Management. Time Management. And that's by the author Brian Tracy. B-R-I-A-N, Brian Tracy, T-R-A-C-Y. He's also a great author and a speaker and has many books to his credit. This book on time management is one of them. Now, both these books are very thin and very easy to grasp and simple English. Okay, one of the books I can already show it to you on this demo. I forgot. Give me 10 seconds. I'll just show it to you. Why not? Okay. I've got also a huge collection of my books. If I turn around this camera from here, I'm surrounded by bookshelves only. कहते हैं ना, he or she who reads leads in life. Let you be that leader. So here is a book for you, which I was referring to, the first book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So I hope I have kept my commitment on this topic, which was given to me by the organizers, that is ICSI, because once you can walk your talk, यानी जो आप कहते हैं वो करते हैं, that speaks well, and that's all about time management. So happy learning and happy success to all of you. Thank you. Over to our anchor and also the main coordinator, Madam Anjali, Geetanjali.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. No? And your enlightening and practical session, I must say, it was indeed inspirational. Now let's take few questions, sir. We have
Why not?
received few questions.
Mhm.
One student is saying, how can I plan my studies? I'm unable to manage time. No? So what should be the approach?
I reiterate the point which I said in one of the gateways, if our dear student recalls, to which I was referring to, and that was incidentally the first gateway. It's not about planning. It's not only about time. It's about priorities. So once I'm fixing the priority very clear, that's how, in terms of very urgent, I perform as a first task, then urgent, then important, and then to the last, if the time is left, not that urgent or not that important. Due to the time constraints, I was not able to take these 4 quadrants. This is also a model for time management. Maybe in one of the other programs where we'll have more time to our disposal, we'll run that model also, in which all these quadrants are there to indicate, and I'm sure our worthy student can definitely benefit for that. So in the order of priority, in the order of urgency, I would request him or her to attempt that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take one more question.
Why not? One
How
or two
to-
more.
Yeah. How to limit distractions?
How to limit distractions. Not easy. It's not easy. Because to live a disciplined life, to live a life of commitment is not easy. On the lighter side, I'm saying, any and everybody wants to go to heaven, but then nobody is prepared to die for that. वो कहते हैं ना, स्वर्ग हर कोई जाना चाहता है मगर मरने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. So in case we have to have all those luxuries, all those comforts, all those social media and all those other things which keep us away from our targeted goals, so then all of these things we cannot. कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ तो खोना पड़ेगा. So I would say leading a disciplined life or being in the company of those who are on that mission possible road, like even if I see at my home, to my own kids, I have always told them to be absolutely focused, and incidentally, they have become pre-guided missiles, hitting their career goals and targets with a bullseye. Of course, you have all the time in the world to enjoy, and it's not that in stressful situation that you are doing your studies or your professional innings. That is also good. Like even while I'm conducting this session online, I'm enjoying it. It's not that I'm doing it because I have to do it. So enjoy your innings and be focused.
So one last question.
Why
One
not?
student is saying, yeah, how to get rid of my habit of procrastination?
Again, not a easy answer to give to how to avoid procrastination, because once we get into that habit, we tend to delay that. But I have observed that people who are high on energy levels are inclined or are motivated to do things today. Many a times in these hot summer months or even in winter months, people tend to be cozy in their beds or at their home or in front of the AC or the heater, depending upon which season they are. And that's what makes them delay things. कि चलो कल पढ़ लेंगे. We will do this act tomorrow, or we will do this assignment tomorrow or day after. Now, this is where if you are active, you are agile, you are energetic, chances are you will not delay. Because you need to show to the world what separates the best from the rest. So become energy driven and have a wonderful diet, have a wonderful exercise. Who knows? It may help you grossly to regain strength and also your schedule.
So thank you once again, sir. So as we come to the close of today's webinar, I would like to once again extend our heartfelt thanks to our President, sir, in his absence, VP sir, Bhavna ma'am, Dr. Keshwani ji, Nagar sir, Joint Secretary, Directorate of Student Services. A big thank you to our organizing team, Ms. Shalini, technical support, and of course, all the enthusiastic students who made this session interactive through chatbot and meaningful. Remember, time is your most precious resource, and managing it well is the first step to managing stress. Let's continue striving not just for success, but for a balanced, well-managed journey towards it. Thank you. Have a great day. Good luck for your examination. Thank you very much. Thank you, Keswani ji. Thank you so much.